Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. It's the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with the host of the program, that is Barb Schlinker, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, most home sellers have a great deal of love for their properties, and sometimes that can translate into an unrealistic belief, resulting in mistakes that could cost them thousands or even keep the house from selling. What are the top 6 seller mistakes that can cause a home not to sell or to sell for far less than expected?
Well, first of all, a lot of people have an idea in their head, and some will look at things like Zillow and Realtor.com to figure out what their home is worth. But at the end of the day, it's not Zillow, it's not Realtor.com, it's the buyer that makes the offer that decides what it's worth. Okay. So if you're not getting offers, something's not right in the mix. It could be marketing, it could be pricing. But I can help sellers solve those issues if they have those problems. And you have to really take a look at the home through a buyer's eyes. So if you're presenting the home that needs work, a lot of buyers they're getting in with all the cash that they have. They're just going to pass on a home like that. The National Association of Realtors says 41% of buyers will not even go look at homes that look like they need work because they don't have the extra financial resources or time to do it. And if the home is overpriced, the buyers can see it. All of that data is available. You go to Zillow, it's going to show you what they think the value is of all the homes around it. And they pick up on that right away. So the buyers are pretty well educated these days with all their online things. So I'd say the number one mistake that a lot of sellers make is they don't make important improvements that get the buyer willing to make an offer. I just sold a home that needed some work. It had some painting issues, wall paint, cabinet paint, sparkle black cabinet paint. But they did replace carpet. They did neutralize the black basement walls and ceilings, and just fixed the basics. But they still had it priced very low. And I was really quite surprised that some of the people that looked at the home still said, even though it was priced probably 50 to 60,000 below similar size sales, that it needed too much work. And I'm like, well, painting doesn't cost that much money, even if you hire a good professional to do it. So, but it's just a thing about they don't want to do the work, and or the agent really wasn't dialed into what the market value was when they showed the home. It could be either, it could be both. So I would say consider realistic upgrades. Some people sells, which is great. Um, really onto cosmetic improvements like carpet, um, painting, neutralize the paint, make sure the cabinets are in good shape, the counters don't look broken, the appliances aren't mismatched, those kind of things. If you don't do those and you're getting feedback like it needs too much work or it's overpriced, it's probably a condition issue. And I've had some sellers actually make improvements after their home was on the market. So those homes took longer to sell, but we did sell them once those improvements are done. So it's okay to do that after the fact, but definitely make sure the photos are refreshed. I see this all the time, Richard, where I'll see pictures in July of homes that are showing snow on the ground. Have you ever seen that?
I have, and yet that is honestly a big deal, and it just does not represent a home very well at all.
Yeah, I remember I had an out-of-state buyer ask me once, does everybody there live in a cabin?
Hmm.
I'm like, no. So it's pretty funny, but they don't, if they don't live here, they don't know what it's like. And if they see snow on the ground in July, they're like, is it snowing there in July? I mean, maybe it could happen on occasion, but it's really not common. So, but probably the top mistake that I would say most home sellers make, especially right now in this really slowly dripping down market that we have, is to overprice a home and not price it aggressively enough to get a buyer. Most sellers want the most money. I get it. But according to national standards, if you price a home too high and slowly walk the price down, you're going to net less money. So you're always better off being the best home in the neighborhood, the best priced home in the neighborhood. That will make the process go a lot quicker and you'll be happy. And generally, the buyers are going to be really motivated to make it happen. My name is Barb Schlinker. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice, and the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb has the buyers team. And what we're talking about are the top seller mistakes that may cause a home not to sell. And next up, we're going to cover the rest of the mistakes and how you can avoid making those mistakes if you are thinking of making a move. And if you are and you'd like to get a free in-home consultation on what to do and what not to do to get your house ready for sale, get a really realistic idea of what your home will sell for and how much you'll put in your pocket when it sells, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
So, Barb, what are some other mistakes that home sellers make that might cause a home not to sell or actually not sell for the price that everyone would like?
Well, pricing is probably the largest and most frequent one that I see, even with my own clients. They don't listen to me. They'll say, my house is worth that much because the tax assessor said it was worth that much. And then in their mind, they've already spent their net proceeds on whatever they plan to do next. And I wish it worked that way. I really do. But at the end of the day, it's what a buyer will pay. So it's you will always get more money and you won't have to wait months and months and months if you price it what I call realistically versus optimistically. Don't price it according to how much you're going to put in your pocket. Price it according to what a buyer will pay in the next 30 days. That's how you win. That's what I believe. I call it Goldilocks pricing, just right, not too low. You don't want to be too low. I had one home that we priced a little bit low, and that was just because it definitely needed some work. There were some systems not working, like their little split air conditioner, and the boiler was getting old. But he priced it very aggressively, and similar sales were between 550 and 6 down in the Broadmoor. We priced it at 505 and it sold for 35,000 over asking price in just a few days. We had 87 people show up at the open house. Great location, but it needed a little work. And a buyer's like, hey, we'll take that because it's got all the other issues. Or if you price it just slightly high, sometimes it's just a little bit. Like if you're already on the market and you're getting showing, maybe a couple of lowball offers, you're just a little bit off. It might just be 1%, maybe 2%, but it's time to make a move if you're not getting the offer that you want. And pricing it realistically, generally, it means if it sells very quickly that you priced it right. We had one down in the southwest part of town on Oak Creek, really cool home, and comps were all over the place. There was almost $100,000 range in that neighborhood of similar sales. So they priced it just right, kind of not necessarily at the lowest end, but sort of in the middle, just below 500,000. Good crowd at the open, 36 people showed up. It sold in 11 days at full asking price. So we can help you do that. Another mistake that we see a lot is that if the agent really doesn't pay attention to the images, there are still agents that use their smartphone to take marketing photos, and that's a huge mistake. These professional photographers know how to dial in the right lighting and get the right angle to show the home in its best light. And it's enough to repel a buyer, I know for sure, because I've taken over listings from people that had bad marketing and was able to sell it at almost the same price right away. Selling home definitely is a lot harder than it was 2 years ago. Pretty much everything would sell. I just met with a buyer yesterday and he's from the DC area and he goes, oh, that house that I sold a couple years back in this market, if we moved it to DC, that home would be $2 or $3 million, so every market is a little bit different, but a couple years ago, most things were selling and really quickly, and that was because the buyers could afford the payments. Now, they're thinking twice about are they going to, give more of their monthly income to a house or not. So it's absolutely critical that you price it right. And buyers won't make a commitment just because they like it. They have to love it. So you have to help them love it. And we can help you get ready for that. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Barb, it's time for your lightning round of some of your hot new listings. Tell us about them.
Well, I have a really adorable townhome, 7035 Yampa River Heights, that's open today, 11 to 12 at 274,999. It's 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath, backs to open space. Great, great home. Move-in ready for sure. I have another one owned by the VA that's priced in the low threes in that area. Actually, I have a couple of properties owned by the VA right now. One on Wallowing Way in the mid threes. I have a beautiful home on Ithaca Street in the mid threes. It's over 2,800 square feet. A gorgeous home on Hunter Jumper. This thing is nearly new, has a very modern vibe to it, very small yard, so low maintenance yard, priced in the mid fours. We also have a beautiful buy level on Splendid Circle, priced in the low fours. And we have a gorgeous property in Briargate on Camfield in the mid to upper fours, backs to open space with gorgeous views. A spectacular home on Sunbird Hills Drive, priced just under 1.6 million with a 5-car garage. A beautiful 2-story on Delmonico Drive. We just lowered the price to $699. And then we have a gorgeous home on 1379 South Mountain Estates Road. I'm sorry, gorgeous lot priced at 70,000. This lot's ready to go. It already has a well, so check that out. It's got gorgeous views. And another lot, a couple of more lots down in South Fountain. So if you want to find out about all of our listings, you can go to barbhasthebuyers.com and just look at our featured homes and see if there's anything that works for you, or give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You've been listening to Your Real Estate Voice. It airs every Saturday, 11 o'clock, right after Cudlow. If you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. And you can see replays of the show at barbhasthebuyers.com or listen to podcasts on all of the podcast platforms like Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, many others. Thanks for listening. And to reach out to Barb, again, give her a call at 719-301-3900. Barb, you have a great weekend and a great start to the new year.
Thank you so much. You as well.